most humiliating experience of my life.
Yeah. Hey, carnivore hunters, this is Doug.
And this is Rick. Hey, Doug.
Yeah,
What
what's
did
up?
the poo? What did the poo say to the fart?
I don't know.
You blow me away.
Oh, wow. Well,
Uh,
guys, that's leading into today. We do have a very sensitive subject to talk to you about today. On a standard American diet, many people have a lot of gas, and I don't even think they realize what is causing their gas. And honestly, we're really not sure of all the foods that cause us gas, even after doing all the elimination diet with carnivore diet.
yeah, I definitely was in that bucket of people when I was on the standard American diet and when I was trying to uh, eat more keto and I was eating a lot more vegetables back then. And man, I could clear a room easily, and it was really bad. But I want to share one of my most humiliating experiences. So what we're going for here, carnivore hunters, we're trying to give people that maybe might be on the dating scene or something. We're trying to give you some advice here to save you the embarrassment and why you should maybe be eating the carnivore diet. So, anyways, years and years ago, uh, we went to a concert and I was on the standard American diet, but I was dieting also. So I was eating a lot of broccoli and a lot of cauliflower and carrots and just doing all this stuff. But man, when I would fart, it was really bad. And so we're sitting in the middle of this concert, and my gas flared up on me, and it was the most awful gas I've ever had in my life. And my my immediate friends and everybody knew exactly who it was, and I was just hoping I would look around like, who's doing that, to try to push the blame on somebody else. But it was because I'm convinced 100% it's because of the diet I was on at the time. So it was the most humiliating experience of my life.
Yeah, I have actually something very similar. When my wife and I were first dating, she lived about 40 minutes outside of town. So one night she'd asked me to come back to her place with her for a few hours after we had gone out. And so I ended up riding with her car as a responsible single mother. She didn't want to come into my car to her house. She wanted to drive me out and then drive me back to my car at the end. Later that evening, because I did have to work the next morning, she was going into work, gonna drive me home, but her mom lived next door, and she wanted to just go tell her mom that she was going to be leaving for a little while because their her girls were staying the night with her mom, and that she would be back a little bit later. And I was so glad she was going inside because I had been holding in the pain for a good 45 minutes. And we're out. This is in the middle of the country, out in the open air, and I am farting at like 10-15 second bursts, and it hurts. I've been holding it in for so long. But we're out, and again, we're out in the middle of the prairie basically, and it's lingering in a circle around her car. So I'm walking around trying to wave this thing away because I'm just started dating this girl, right? I didn't want to gross her out, on our third date or whatever it was. So fortunately it did finally kind of dissipate. She took a little bit longer in the house than I had thought she would, which was good. But it was the same kind of thing. I mean, I was not did not have a very good diet at the time. I think I was actually had some beers that night as well. So, that I'm sure didn't help the situation, but definitely a potentially embarrassing situation at the time.
Yeah, so this is some advice for those of you that are dating. If you are already on a carnivore diet, don't cheat on the carnivore diet if you have a date within the next 2 or 3 days of eating that meal. Because trust me, for 2 or 3 days, Doug and I have done our share of cheating. And for 2 or 3 days, you're going to have gas, and it's going to be powerful gas,
Yeah,
right?
especially sugary, starchy, that kind of stuff seems to make it act up a little bit worse. I mean, most of the time I don't have to worry about it at all anymore, but go to a birthday party and have some cake and a beer, that's you're over. So you're definitely going to feel that the next day. So if also, I mean, if you do cheat, you don't want to trust a fart. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, and
And
matter of fact, that's actually good advice, just when you're starting carnivore as well. In the first, say,
I
two
was just going to
weeks,
say that if
yeah,
if you're not on carnivore but thinking about going on carnivore, don't plan on dating for a couple of weeks because you're going to need that time to adjust. Unless maybe I didn't have a whole lot of trouble moving into carnivore from a keto diet. I didn't get the keto flu or any of that. But if you're not doing keto and you're not doing carnivore, don't go on a date for about 2 weeks. You'll
yeah,
you'll thank us.
yeah. I got everything. I got the full keto flu and all that stuff. But I literally went from a cake one night to strict carnivore the next day, which is, if you listen to the carnivore doctors, they'll tell you that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So. But in any case, guys, if you want to avoid any of these kind of embarrassing situations, I mean, learn from our mistakes. But the carnivore diet can give you more control over your bodily functions.
Yeah, and it's not to say you're not going to fart, but they're not going to be big, powerful, smelly, stinky farts. They're just not. And if you get gas at all, I do on occasion. I'll get a little bit of gas, but I don't clear a room anymore.
Yeah, yeah, and when it does happen, it's very odorless. So again, kind of an uncomfortable thing to talk about, guys, and especially sharing some of our more embarrassing moments. But if you can learn from it, hopefully it was something that you enjoyed. Hopefully you laughed a little bit. But Rick, did you have anything else for him?
No, just eat carnivore and avoid the gas.
Yep. Thanks for watching, guys.
Have a good night.